Have you ever wondered how we, as a species confined to the ground, first took to the skies? Our tale begins with the ancient myths and legends. Among them, the tragic tale of Icarus, who dared to fly too close to the sun, only to have his wings of feathers and wax melt away. This story, as old as it is, encapsulates our deep-seated yearning to break free from our terrestrial confines and explore the vast expanses of the sky. But it wasn't all just myths and legends. In ancient China, kites were not just toys, but tools for communication and military operations, representing a practical application of the principles of flight. From these humble beginnings, the desire for flight continued to capture the imagination of humanity, inspiring countless inventors and dreamers. Yet, despite these early attempts, true, controlled, sustained flight remained an elusive dream. It would take several more centuries before humanity could finally claim the skies as their own. One of the most famous early pioneers in aviation wasn't a pilot, but a painter, Leonardo da Vinci. Known for his insatiable curiosity and inventive mind, Da Vinci had a fascination with flight. In his notebooks, he sketched out designs for various flying machines, including a helicopter-like device, a glider, and even a parachute. His designs showcased an understanding of aerodynamics that was far beyond his time. He recognized the importance of the wing's curvature, now known as camber, for generating lift. He also had an understanding of the principle of flight stability, an essential concept in aviation. The intricacies of his designs suggest that Da Vinci spent hours observing birds in flight, studying their wings, their movements, and their mechanics. He then took this understanding and incorporated it into his designs, laying the groundwork for future aviation pioneers. Da Vinci's ideas were centuries ahead of their time, but it would still be a long time before they could be realized. The next significant leap in aviation came not from wings, but from bags of hot air and gas. Now let's turn the pages back to the late 18th century. The year is 1783, a time when the concept of flight took a curious turn. The Montgolfier brothers of France, Joseph Michel and Jacques Etienne, were not content with merely observing the birds. They sought to emulate them, and in doing so, they gave birth to the first hot air balloon. The Montgolfier's invention was a testament to human ingenuity. It was a simple design, yet revolutionary. A large bag filled with hot air would rise, carrying a basket beneath it. This design was based on a principle that's as old as time itself. Hot air rises. The hotter the air inside the balloon compared to the outside air, the higher it would ascend. Now, fast forward to the mid-19th century. The development of balloons had given rise to a new form of transportation, the airship. These were not just simple balloons, but rather elongated structures filled with gas, and they had the ability to be steered and propelled. A key figure in this development was a German count named Ferdinand von Zeppelin. Inspired by the potential of these lighter-than-air vehicles, Zeppelin designed and built the first rigid airship in the late 19th century. His design, known as the Zeppelin, was a true marvel of its time. It was a massive structure filled with hydrogen gas and powered by engines. It could carry passengers and cargo, and it could be steered in any direction. The invention and development of balloons and airships were significant milestones in the history of flight. They were the first vehicles that allowed humans to ascend into the sky and observe the world from a bird's-eye view. But as revolutionary as they were, they had their limitations. These lighter-than-air vehicles marked a new era in aviation, but they lacked the control and power that would define the airplane. The breakthrough in controlled, powered flight came from two unlikely inventors, the Wright brothers. These two individuals, Orville and Wilbur Wright, were not scientists or engineers by training. They were self-taught, driven by an insatiable curiosity and a passion for flight. Born and raised in Dayton, Ohio, they ran a bicycle sales and repair shop to fund their aeronautical experiments. The Wright brothers began their journey into the world of aviation by studying the flights of birds. They observed how birds changed the angles of their wings to control their flight, and this observation was key to their later successes. They started experimenting with gliders, setting up camp at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, where the strong and steady winds provided the ideal conditions for their trials. Their gliders were different from those of other aviation enthusiasts of their time. The Wrights were the first to understand and implement a three-axis control system, allowing their gliders to maneuver up and down, left and right, and to roll or tilt to either side. This innovative system, which is still fundamental in all modern aircraft, allowed them to maintain balance and control, the two most challenging aspects of flight. Then came the historic day of December 17, 1903. After years of relentless work and numerous trials, the Wright brothers achieved the unimaginable. Orville piloted the first powered, controlled, and sustained flight. The aircraft, called the Flyer, was a biplane featuring a propeller and an engine, and it managed to stay airborne for 12 seconds, covering a distance of 120 feet. It was a short flight, but its implications were monumental. The Wright brothers had not just created a flying machine. They had solved the riddle of controlled, powered flight. They had taken mankind into a new era, opening the skies for exploration and progress. The Wright brothers had finally achieved what mankind had dreamed of for centuries: controlled, powered flight. Once the Wright brothers showed the world that controlled, powered flight was possible, the development of airplanes took off at a breathtaking pace. The dawn of the 20th century saw an explosion of ingenuity and innovation, turning the rudimentary Wright Flyer into a relic of the past in just a few decades. The first generation of airplanes, known as biplanes, sported two wings stacked one above the other. These were quickly followed by monoplanes, which featured a single wing and offered improved speed and maneuverability. World War I served as a catalyst for these advancements, with nations racing to develop superior aerial weaponry. In the interwar period, the focus shifted to commercial aviation. Airplanes evolved from open cockpit designs to enclosed cabins that could carry multiple passengers. The introduction of all-metal bodies and retractable landing gear paved the way for larger, more efficient aircraft. Then came the jet age. The advent of jet propulsion in the mid-20th century revolutionized air travel, enabling aircraft to fly higher, faster, and farther than ever before. This development brought about the creation of the first commercial jet airliners, such as the iconic Boeing 707. But the sky was not the limit. The quest for speed led to the development of supersonic aircraft capable of breaking the sound barrier. The Concorde, which made its maiden flight in the late 60s, could whisk passengers from New York to London in under 3 hours, traveling at speeds over twice the speed of sound. The rapid evolution of airplanes in the 20th century is a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of progress. From the rudimentary biplanes of the early 1900s to the sleek supersonic jets of the late century, each advancement has pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. In just a century, aviation has transformed the world, shrinking distances and expanding our horizons. So where does the future of aviation lie? As we soar into the horizon of tomorrow, the possibilities seem endless. The roar of jet engines may soon be replaced by the hum of electric aircraft. These zero-emission planes promise not only a quieter ride, but also a greener one, reducing the carbon footprint of air travel. Similarly, unmanned aerial vehicles or drones are set to revolutionize the skies. From delivering packages to surveying hard-to-reach areas, these autonomous flyers are changing the game. But the most thrilling prospect might just be space tourism. Imagine boarding a spacecraft as easily as you'd board a plane, ready to experience the majesty of the cosmos firsthand. From the dreams of Da Vinci to the ambitions of Elon Musk, the trajectory of flight has always been upward. As we stand on the cusp of a new era in aviation, one thing is clear: the sky is no longer the limit.